Well, welcome everyone to Y1 Live. It was so good to have you. A couple weeks ago, whether it was on Facebook or YouTube, you were chatting up a storm. You are now, which is great. Everything works when it's really interactive. And so, as you know, we have leaders chatting with you right now. And so make sure to ask questions, make comments. It just goes a long way in creating more of a community online. As you know, every time we shoot one of these videos, we're going to be talking about something called the Y1 Life rules. Y1 Life rules. So it's a series we're in right now, and we got about 10 life rules that we're going to be going through. If this is your first episode, we really encourage you to watch the first one. It was all about why starting your morning well is so essential to your mind and body and to have a good day. The one quote that came out of that was, the tone to your morning sets the tone to your day. And we truly believe that. And so today, we're going to be talking about the second life rule. The second life rule is all about movement. It's all about exercise and the importance of exercise to your mental health. And so that rule is called run, jog, ... heck, just move. And that's all it's all about, is just getting movement. Because if you don't move and you're standing still, it just becomes very mundane, and it's actually very unhealthy just for your life. And we want to make sure that these life rules make you, not break you during COVID-19. And so it was a pleasure to have these special guests, some of my friends here in Lethbridge. Many of you may know them. Their names are Lowell and Julie Taylor. So if once I explain who they are, you're gonna be like, man, like what better people to learn for this life rule on exercise. And exercise is so important right now, you guys. Just the other day, I mean, Noah and Taylor, they've mentioned push-ups, how there's all these push-up challenges and stuff. Somebody just tagged me yesterday and challenged me to doing 49 push-ups. Like, come on, bro. I can't even do like 5 or 10 in a row. I used to be able to do that. Can't do it anymore. I like to get out. I like to go for walks with my family, go for jogs and all that kind of stuff. But it's so important. It feels so good when you do it. And there's a lot of actually like science and things behind it that are actually really good for your mental health. And that's what we're going to be talking about with our guests. So Julie and Lowell were on Amazing Race Canada Season 4. Lowell is a registered psychologist. He is currently training for Tokyo 2021 Olympics. And get this, he's legally blind from a degenerate eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. I hope I got that right. So his wife, Julie, really works as his eyes. I know when they go skiing and everything, she actually is skiing in front of him as a guide so he can make it down the hill and not run into a tree. Crazy, right? I wouldn't be able to do it. They are insane. Julie is a speech therapist. They are certified health and fitness coaches. They are motivational speakers. And when they talk, it's all about encouraging others to turn their obstacles into opportunities. So we hope you enjoy this interview about exercise and how it's good for your mental health. We shot this video this last week, and here's our conversation with Lowell and Julie. Okay, so I mean, knowing how active and motivated you guys are, you know, like all the things that I see, whether you're posting it or I kind of see in town or whatever, it all surrounds like activity, right? So Lowell, like obviously you're an Olympian in training, and I see posts every day of you in your garage cycling, you know, when it's nice outside, you're training, and Julie, you're helping him with that training as well. And then Julie, I'm impressed how much, because every post that you put out, you're doing activities with your boys, and you guys are running around and doing jogs and different events like that. I'm just, you know, it's really cool to see. You know, maybe before we get into this, we're talking about our life rules of Youth One and how important exercise is. Maybe just give us a brief introduction to who you guys are as people, what you do, your family, just so our viewers get to know you a little bit more.
Go ahead, Lowell, take it away.
Awesome. I'm so honored to be here. This is awesome. Yeah, who we are, that identity piece. We wear many hats with our identity. So we have kind of who we are in our community. So we are from Lethbridge, and we have lots of friends and family here. As a career, I'm a psychologist. So I work with people in my own private practice to help them with their mental health, to help them with their well-being. And we have 2 little kids. We have 2 boys. Age, it changes every year.
7 and 8.
7
and not
and 8.
so little anymore. Look at my shoulder, and I'm 5'7",
so there's
not
that.
tiny.
Yeah, super fun. Family is amazing. So to be a dad, and then And then husband and wife, we kind of like each other, so like spending time with each other. And then this idea of sport, I mean, just maybe kind of like sharks. If you stop moving, you die. But for us, we love meaningful movement. It's not just exercise. It's about having activities, having play in our life. And often that's something physical.
And a big part of our story too is, of course, Lowell's visual impairment. That a lot into everything. I think that's probably the reason we were cast for season 4 of The Amazing Race Canada. And Lowell is also a cyclist now, aiming for Tokyo 2021 now. It is not 2020 anymore. So that plays a big role. And I am a speech pathologist, and normally I work at a school, but school is closed now, so I'm doing just telesessions from home, just part-time, which has been a learning curve, like with everyone else learning all this new world, but it's been going well.
Awesome. So you guys touched, I mean, we have to talk about this, about Amazing Race. You know, a lot of our youth are probably wondering like what it was like. Was it weird to watch yourself on TV? Like, is it all cracked up to be like behind the scenes kind of stuff? Like, is it like real? And so maybe let's just touch on that and give them a little bit before we move into this, you know, the importance of exercise. Like, what was it like for you guys being on Amazing Race? I know that's a big question.
Oh, yeah, no, and right now it seems like another lifetime ago, doesn't it, Lowell? 4 times, like, oh yeah, we did that. I wish I would have. We kept notes while we were on the race, mostly because the final leg, there's always a challenge that references all the previous legs, so everyone takes notes and kind of studies throughout. So I do have those. I still want to create it into some kind of album, but I'm losing my memory. But yes, there is definitely kind of different than expected. The big thing that stood out for me is it's very much hurry up and wait. So when you watch it on your TVs at home, you see the hurry, hurry, hurry all the time. So hurry, hurry, hurry. And yes, we are racing from point A to point B, but then we sit and wait for hours and sometimes days, like overnight at an airport or at a hotel, or just when you get to a challenge and you have to wait for everyone to do it before you. Sometimes we had to wait like 3 hours, just like standing there waiting for our turn. And that was the hardest part for me, the sitting and waiting, because that's when I started thinking about, oh, this is kind of stressful, and oh, I missed my children. They were 3 and 4 when we left, so that was the hardest part for me, is we had no contact with them for 5 weeks, so that was hard. How about you, Lowell?
The Amazing Race is incredible. Like, it's easy to be cynical now, and we have so much reality TV that seems kind of sensational, and I think there's a sense Amazing Race is fun to watch, and so there are some things that are a little bit scripted, a little bit made to be exciting, and that's why people enjoy the show. But behind the scenes, like, this is an exciting race where you get to try new things you'd never get to do anywhere else. The opportunities, the excitement, the travel. So it
was really cool seeing how the show is made, though, because each team has a crew with them at all times, and that crew rotates every leg. But the crew, sound guy and a camera guy. And you'd think that it's 2020 now, you would think that they would have like little streamlined cameras that they, maybe on their iPhones or something. But no, they have these like huge cameras, these big boom mics, these sound boxes that are like kind of backpacks, or on the front, I guess, front pack. Anyways, and they have to like run around with them. And if it's raining, they have these rain covers all over, and they have to keep up. It's crazy. So just to see, and then at each challenge, there are however many zone crew, like other people and GoPros. So it's just, when you're in it, it just looks so different. And so that was pretty cool to be a part of.
And then what's it like to be on TV? It's vulnerable, right? To be out there, you're at 24 hours a day for 5 weeks, and whatever you say, and you're stressed and tired and in a race, and there could be moments of impatience and people of kind of backstabbing. And so there's a lot of emotion, and any of that can be shown. And we're professionals. I'm a psychologist, and my wife, and we have kids, and we're in a community. But at the end of the day, we went in wanting to be authentically us, and we wanted to honor each other. We wanted to be good models of marriage and relationships, models of people with disabilities, to how do you cope and how do you handle and live with challenges, and then also to just be respectful Canadians. And so if we didn't say something mean, they can't air it. And we were just trying to be authentically us and be real and really fully enjoy our experience.
So we've been on TV again since then. We were health coaches on 2 seasons of a show called Mindset Go. And that was much different, because we knew that because we were kind of the hosts of that show. They couldn't call us hosts because it's documentary. So we were the health coaches. But we knew that as the people kind of carrying like the common thread in the show, they wouldn't want us to look like idiots. So that was nice to have that confidence that if I say something stupid, they'll just probably edit it out.
Yeah.
Have that assurance on their
But they made it great. So
they want that stuff.
Yeah.
They want you to sound like
highlight your mistakes.
Exactly.
Aired to all of Canada.
I always thought, if I ever got on Survivor or something like that, that would be like my biggest concern, is that they portray in a different way that you're not. But I think you guys did amazing. Like, it didn't look like you were faking it, right? Like, it looked very authentic and people loved you for it. And I think that's, that goes a long way. And you guys got 6th place, right?
Yeah.
6, but it's tough because the end, you have the way that it's eliminated. A team doesn't always get eliminated. There's some non-eliminated legs. The one before us and one after us were non-elims. And then 3 are in the finale. So we were up 7th episode out of the 11 episodes.
I think it was 5th or 6th. So I think it was 6th, yeah. I don't know. I always, look at that and learn that. But we made 7 out of 11 episodes. That sounds better. Go with that, Jordan. Yeah,
okay. Sounds good. It was amazing. So, like, moving into now fitness, knowing that you guys were health coaches on this show, and Lowell, you're on the world stage for cycling and training for now is Tokyo 2021, right? And I remember doing a cycling thing with you, Lowell, and Julie. I think you were there too. You might have been pregnant at the time and cycling, which is nuts.
First time, yeah, I was like 6 or 7 months pregnant. That was very uncomfortable, but yes,
insane. And so I just remember one moment riding down the road. I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. Like, we're 20 kilometers in. I'm doing fine. And Lowell, you just like went past me like a bullet, and no one ever saw you. Like, it was insane. Like, you just crushed us all. And I mean, whole nother level of athlete. And so what does it take at the level that you're at now? I think a lot of people would like to know is like, what's behind the scenes? Because it's not like you're just born being athletic. It takes a ton of work. What does like your routine look like?
Although that ride was pre-training, so you should maybe find another.
So I shouldn't cycle with him at all anymore.
So at some level, there is a little bit of genetics where you're born with it. I think I never was. I was always the fat, blind, stinky kid. Right? I wasn't. Okay. I was overweight, so I didn't get into fitness until you graduated university. Like, I was overweight until I was about 24. He
jokes that the only time he went to the university gym was because he swapped remember my sister Carlin? He swapped his ID card with hers, and then he and I went to the gym, and so she gave his card. That's the only time he was there.
I love that.
It's actually Carlin.
So yeah, I wasn't fit as a child. I was a farm kid. And so I learned how to work hard. There's a mindset of you work hard, and I was strong, but I wasn't fit. But then I came into fitness later, my quarter life crisis, when everything fell apart. I lost my license, I lost my vision. Julie and I broke up at the time, and the only thing I had left was fitness. I didn't even have it at the time. I needed something. And so I jumped on a bike and made a promise to myself that I wouldn't watch TV unless I was pedaling a stationary bike. So I through a winter watched 4 seasons of 24 back in the day, and I started biking and riding, and triathlon saved my life. It many ways just got me back into living and my mental health, my well-being. And from that point on, fitness became a part of me. And so mindset, really, like that sense of what's behind the scenes. Race day is awesome. Like winning medals and winning races, and that is awesome. And it's to be out there on the big day, but there are all the other days stuck in the garage, sweating and pain and hurting. And there's the mindset of, why am I doing this? How can I improve? I want to be stronger because of this. I want to be a better dad, a better husband. I want to cope with my stress. But also, if I want to achieve the dreams that I set out to, that outcome goal to compete for Team Canada, that's the outcome goal. Win medals. But to do that, I need the process goals. And those are show up every day and train.
Oh, I love that. Go ahead, Julie.
I was going to say a perk of his visual impairment is that we had a home training set up already pre-pandemic. So we have our little garage gym. So we already had access to that. So that has been nice these days.
Pandemic didn't change my fitness regime at all, really.
No.
It's just that he's traveling less, obviously. He's not traveling at all. And he used to travel a lot for races and training camps and stuff. So that's really the only difference for you.
So obviously your guys' family are all very active. Your two boys, Julie, you as well. Why is that important to you? Like, Lowell, I know you touched on a few things, but a family as a whole, why is that, daily exercise really important?
I think, well, I grew up being really active and starting in grade 11. Well, starting in grade 5, my sister and I had a paper route, had to be out by like 7 a.m. And then we had it until our second year of university because that's how cool we were. But starting in grade 11, after we did the paper route, we'd go to the gym with my mom. And then once we quit the paper route, we just keep going to the gym. And my dad would he introduced us to all the sports. So that, and now I feel comfortable kind of trying anything. And I really want that for my kids too. Plus it's fun. So that's kind of one reason why we've been very intentionally active. Also, like things like skiing, we kind of used our kids as an excuse to get back into it. Because I hadn't skied for a long time. And we only ever went skiing like once or twice a year growing up. I'm like, hey, I have little kids. Like, I have no choice but to kind of suck at this right now because I'm with them, It's because really they're the ones that suck right now. So so then I kind of got better. And they're better than me already. But it's still a fun family outing.
I think there are lots of reasons. And people will choose it for different reasons. But if I kind of flip through a couple quick ones. One, physical movement, it's play. And we're designed to play, to have fun together, to laugh together. And so it's really easy to do. We can do it in many ways, board games and other ways, but it's a great way to connect to others. Physical movement and connection, it bonds us. So another one is we release oxytocin when we exercise. So the chemicals that are released when we exercise, oxytocin bonds people together. So it deepens relationships. It also releases dopamine and serotonin. So it helps us feel better and feel good about life. So the reward we get, the benefits of exercise are huge. And then it creates this deeper meaning of purpose, right? This meaning that we can have, like we can do something that's self-fulfilling. I feel good. My self-efficacy or my self-esteem is higher because I'm building, I'm improving, I'm strengthening, I'm running a little bit faster. So there's so many reasons to keep fit and have fun.
But some of us don't have the same attention span or stamina as this guy here. And that I am the kind of person that I need kind of shorter term goals. And I mean, that's easier when there's not a pandemic and you have more access to things and people. But like before I was working on swimming, and now we have our bikes on trainers with the online program, cycling program Zwift. So now I'm working on increasing my functional threshold power. So I still have a goal. And this ties in nicely to your number one rule of the routine is my fitness goals are part of my routine. So I'm a morning person. So I usually wake up at about 5:30 and that the boys are still in bed and they know not to get out of bed till 7. So that is my time. And so that's when I go outside and do my training. And then you're right, that sets the tone for the rest of the day. And that's how I start my routine.
So, does regular exercise, and I know, Lowell, you said this as well, how good is that for your mental health? Because a lot of our viewers, they're just like everybody else right now. We're stuck at home. They're lonely. They're feeling a sense of isolation, potentially depressed. What does that actually do for the mind being active?
Yeah, they're doing some pretty cool research right now. This is a neat study that a lot of us are participating in a global pandemic. But this sense of doing less activity and connecting less with others, we're seeing a huge increase in anxiety and worry and insomnia, difficulty sleeping. So we are being really impacted by our lack of connection and lack of movement. So the opposite is true. When we get out, when we move our bodies are an object in the law of physics. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. So when we start to move, when we move, that adds to more movement. And then our bodies reward us with the positive chemicals. So the best thing you can do for stress, worry, anxiety, and depression is exercise. It's better than therapy, but therapy is pretty good. It's better than medication.
Especially if you have a good psychologist, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And medication can also be helpful for certain people for certain disorders. So medication, therapy, but but exercise is something you have in your control. And they've done another cool research study that even 20 minutes of walking every day benefits your happiness level to the increase of $20,000 raise.
Wow.
Right? It increases our contentment, our happiness, our ability to cope with stress, our anxiety, worry, and depression. Like, it is the single best thing. If we could put that in a pill, everybody would be prescribed it.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this day and age is we have the World Wide Web. There is so much information out there. And if you're just thinking of a goal or something you'd like to work on exercise-wise, type it in the old Google search and you can find programs for free that you can follow without equipment at home. Even I got it was free, I think, the Nike training app, and they have just a variety of different lengths, beginner, intermediate. Like, you can pick kind of what you want. And then if you just kind of make that part of your routine, and you don't need to go to a gym and you don't need equipment, you can just make it happen.
Yeah. And, so some people would say exercise isn't easy, right? Like, it's not fun, or if you're stuck, to get yourself motivated to actually do something it's tough, right? Like you said, if there was a pill, people would be buying it off the shelves like crazy. But this actually takes, like you said, movement. Like, you need to move and
You need
to be
to put
active.
that.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And so how does somebody motivate themselves, to even just go for a 20-minute walk?
Yeah. And so this is if you're so stuck that you can't move, this is when you need somebody to help you often. So that's what we was thinking. This is help people get unstuck, finding that way. So we have to find the motivation. And Tony Robbins will say, when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing, then we'll change. But it's usually not costing us enough. So the status quo, the staying the same, the not moving, it often is kind of easy. We just get used to it. We acclimatize. So we need to really identify, this is not the healthiest version of me. I don't like this feeling. I want to feel better. So if you know that, you put that intention in place. I will feel better after that walk. And then overcoming the barriers. So if you need accountability, get an accountability partner to go walking, do the exercise with you. Being part of a community is huge to help with the motivation. But motivation fall from the sky. You need action leads to motivation. So you first need to act and get that motion.
Before, you've talked about kind of realistic short-term goals, how that might help motivate. Like, what are some of those that, like, if you do just 20 minutes walking a day, or if however many steps you're going to achieve in a day or a week, and you kind of hold yourself accountable that way, just like short-term kind of things.
It's good, the self-awareness. So we don't want, even the word exercise, sometimes we can get rid of that. It seems like it's a thing you got to do. It's like you got to go run the mile at school. Yeah. But what we're looking for is fun movement, meaningful movement, right? And if you can enjoy it, it's not like, I don't always enjoy working out on the bike, but for the most part it is. Like, kids don't go and exercise. Kids go and play. So
I love
play.
that.
If you want to play, get a better badminton or tennis or basketball. Like, you get exercise, you move your body, but you're having fun. So is it hiking? Is hiking exercise? Well, I guess, but really the point of it is to see things and to communicate. And so look for something that actually fills you up. Don't look for exercise.
Not punishment.
It's not punishment. If it's punishment,
you're not going to do it.
You're going to lose the benefit. So find something you enjoy and go explore. Try new things. Is it dancing? Like, dancing is exercise, but it's so fun. It can be, well, it can if you have rhythm.
That's not for me.
I've heard dancing is great.
Yeah. I wouldn't know myself, but
I have the rhythm of a flat plastic bag.
Yeah.
But find something that excites you, that moves you. And then a meaningful goal, like Julie was saying, and tracking it. For me, like, tracking that goal, like ticking it off. Today I did this, or I was able to do this amount of distance in this amount of time, but tomorrow I'll do this amount, and you calculate it. So having little goals along the way, and maybe even a big goal, that's how you're set up. In 5 months from now, I want to run a 5K. Okay, well, that means I need to build. So having the right plan, setting it in routine, and not just how you feel every day. Should I walk today or not? Don't leave it to motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Leave it to the plan.
Go back to rule 1. Put it in the plan.
Yeah. No, and I really do like that. And, we were talking about this the other day, is like, if you don't like reading, like, how can you actually get into it? Because reading's so important, right? And the suggestion was, why don't you just read 1 page a day? like instead of making a lofty goal, like I'm going to finish this book, is I'm just going to read a page a day, right? And what you find is, and now we can get more into the active part, is what if that looked like I'm going to do one push-up every morning because that's all I can do.
Yeah.
But what happens when you're down there is you're like, oh, you know what? I could probably do 2 or 3 more push-ups, right? And so not only have you nailed the goal, but you've actually exceeded that goal that you've had. And so starting simple and making those simple goals. So maybe the last question is, say somebody's watching right now and they're like, I'm ready to go. Like, I just want to do something. And maybe you've touched on that a little bit already, but what's like something simple that our youth can start, that they can just start doing every day? Like what would that look like if they're just like, I just need an idea?
Oh man, this
Steps,
is
walk.
So because it's so, I don't want to be too prescriptive because it will be actually find your thing. So find your thing. Some people it's golfing if you're doing it right. If it's whatever it might be, again, I don't know why I say golfing. I don't think it's a sport, but some people like it. But golfing and dancing, look at my.
You just ticked off some people watching this, Lowell. I'm just joking.
It's so unique to this. So it's be careful with anybody who wants to say there's one way. I think it's about finding the thing that you want, you look forward to doing. But to get that movement going, you might not have any sense. And so the simplest, we are designed, we are created, the way our bodies are, we need to move. And so the simplest is everybody has the equipment, shoes, go walking, right? The simplest is go into the coulees, go into the river valley, walk, find a new path and go find something to explore. Go explore. And if you get 30 minutes a day, awesome, right? You could listen to a podcast or an audiobook at the same time, listen to your favorite music. That's good for your mental health. It gets you oxygen, sunshine, movement. So I'd say the best thing you could do at the beginning is, and the research would show, 30 minutes, 5 times a week. If you could do that, awesome.
One thing that Lowell and I have done before without equipment is we had a deck of cards and we assigned like the spades are sit-ups and one is I don't remember all the different card things.
Sit-ups, push-ups,
yeah,
burpees.
whatever. Anyways, 4 exercises for each of the suits, and then you take turns just like pulling a card for the other person, and then that person has to do the number on the card of size, and it's just kind of, it's random and it's fun and you're with each other and you just cheer each other on and it's just silly, but it's exercising.
Yeah, make a game out of it, right? It sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and like if you have someone that of course you're socially distant with, but make it fun.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, that's a good kind of wrap up to this is our life rule number 2 is it just says run or jog ... heck, just move, right? And I think it's about that moving is, you may feel stuck, but the reality is you can get off your couch and go do something. And I love how you said is like, find something that you enjoy. Like, this is not a punishment. This is something you get to do, right? And so even if it's just like walking around the block and, stopping every once in a while and like looking at your surroundings and breathing in that fresh air is huge. Any last encouragements for our youth, you guys, as we kind of wrap this up?
You can do this, right? I was unhealthy, overweight, really low self-esteem. I've been in some really dark places and I didn't have a lot of hope. And so what I want to say for anybody who's struggling right now, like, life gets better, keep working, and fitness is amazing. Social sports are amazing. This stuff is good. It's consistency. So please, if you add exercise to your life, don't make it punishment. If you hate it, you're not going to keep up with it. So add something into your life that you can be consistent with, be part of who you are. Do it with other people. We're created, we're designed, we are humans that need other humans. And so, yeah, take care of yourselves and take care of your relationships. It's key.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I mean, it was awesome to have you on. I'm sure our youth learned a ton from this. There was a lot of gold from it. And we will be definitely cheering you on in 2021 Tokyo. And so we're excited for that. And are you guys going to be on Amazing Race again? Would you do it if you got asked?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
He usually doesn't even wait for that question to be out before he's like,
yeah, right? Yeah.
Down. Yeah, it's absolutely an incredible opportunity. So if they were ever asked for an all-star season or come back or whatever, yeah, we'd do it, but that's not in our hands. Until then, we just continue to live life but yeah, we do the Amazing Race again for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Good
thank
to
you.
see you again.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, well, that was a insane interview, you guys. I had so much fun talking with Lowell and Julie. They're such a cool family and so active. You know, all of the stuff that they're doing, like, you know, never will we have a chance to learn from an athlete such as Lowell. He does so much, and they're so involved in the community, and it's just so great to learn from them. The one thing I really got out of it is, man, I need to go for a jog, right? Like, it is inspiring. You want to go out and do something, but I think the biggest thing is find something that you enjoy. It's like Lowell said, exercise sounds like punishment, but if you go out and play, it's a whole different thing. He said, kids don't go out and exercise, kids go out and play. So look for something that fills you up, that moves you, and that's fun. And so what you should be doing next is, if you're like, I really need to go out and exercise, you got to switch up your mindset. It's like, go out and play. Do something that you enjoy. Do something that's fun, because it really, really is good for your mental health. And the other quote that really stuck out to me was this whole thing about the feeling of exercise and moving, and that the research studies have found that if you walk 20 minutes a day, it benefits your happiness to the level of an increase of a $20,000 raise. Like, come on. How good is that? And then what Lowell said right after that is, if you could put exercise in a pill form for the amount that you get out of it, the things would be flying off the shelves. Everyone would be prescribed to it. So today, we hope you get out. We hope you get active. Go out, have some fun with it, and just make sure you're moving. Thanks so much, you guys. We will see you next time when we talk about rule number 3, and it's all about finding a hobby you enjoy and spending time doing it. We'll see you later.